Welcome to the 8-Bit Show. I'm your host, Hekla Petursson. And this week I had the opportunity to do an interview with Miss Melissa Chase, an icon from Showcase Richmond. If you haven't seen it, it's from 3 to 4 on weekdays on Channel 8. But in this interview, she accidentally gave me the hilarious opportunity to do the JoJo Siwa Dream Guest on my podcast meme. It's very viral from, I think, last year, but it was hilarious. But I also undersold my geek cred in that interview. I'll have you know, I think I said I'm a filmmaker and a theater kid. Both are true. But my other credentials are that I'm a cosplayer, Dungeons and Dragons player, anime enjoyer, middle school got bullied, and I also love games. I am great at Overwatch and haven't beat level 1 of Baldur's Gate 3. But I grew up in arcade games, which is an amazing segue to my next guest. The Richmond Pinball Collective. Isn't Richmond the best place for a pinball collective? They're a nonprofit organization dedicated to bringing the love of pinball to the Richmond greater community. The collective contains over 35 games, and they're all set to free play. A dream. I'd love to welcome Clark and Laura from the Richmond Pinball Collective.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.
I'm so stoked to have you both. I grew up playing pinball just with my dad and with my friends, and I had no clue it was like a competitive thing. Can you tell me about, before we get into the league, can you tell me the difference between competitive and tournaments and people playing at the arcade as a hobby?
Well, I mean, there's really no difference in the sense of you're playing pinball, whether you're playing casually or not casually, competitively. But I would say there's a little bit more involvement as far as, just hanging out with people and showing off your skills and learning different things and really trying to immerse yourself in the rules of the game, as opposed to maybe, I don't know, casual players do that a lot too. They're competing with themselves. And really everybody in pinball is competing with themselves because it's you against the game.
Yeah.
So.
So the machines are the same, but it's more of a community aspect.
Yeah, well,
It can be. Some people just enjoy it solitarily,
Yeah.
and others really are more excited about hanging out with friends and doing it. So you could do it either way.
Yeah, that makes sense. So then tell me about, you have a physical location for the Pinball Collective. What can people expect when they show up?
They can expect 45-ish awesome pinball machines, a lot of flashing lights, maybe a little bit of noise, maybe, some families in there hanging out, having a fun Saturday. Or if they come on a competitive day, they might be a little rambunctious as far as people nudging, people trying to win, beat the other people in their group. But we all get along so well. It's a really, niche community that we have, and it's very special, but it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. So if someone wants to join or just try it out once, can they just show up and play, or do they have to sign up for something?
No, we have day passes for prospective members, so you can show up and play on any of the weird open hours that we have, which most of us have day jobs, so our hours are kind of funky, but they're not too bad. We're open almost every day of the week for certain times. And yeah, they can just show up, and day pass is $15. Play all you want. We don't take quarters. So once you're in, if you're not a great player, that works out, because you might not want to dump a bunch of money into a game that you're going to lose on immediately.
That's how I would feel.
That was my first experience with pinball.
Yeah.
As a child, mostly there to play the video games in the arcade, and I was like, well, maybe I'll try this pinball machine, and go over there, and 3 balls are gone in maybe 10 seconds.
Yeah.
I'm going back to 720.
That hasn't changed much.
No. So that makes me think, why pinball? What started like a passion for the pinball community for you both?
We both joined a house league, back before Richmond had a lot of arcade presence, pinball machines on location, there were house leagues where, someone would open up their house and let you come in and play their collection in the form of a league. And so a good friend of ours, Taylor Reese, had a house league, and Clark joined it first and kept trying to convince me to do it. And I was like, pinball, that's for no. I mean, we had a pinball machine at our house, but a pinball league felt foreign to me. So I didn't know about that. But then once I tried it, I was absolutely hooked. And a year later, we opened the collective. So it's just been uphill, downhill.
Yeah.
And I sort of came into it occupationally first, before even all the craziness of the collecting part of it, and then later opening the club and all that. So, but it wasn't the same thing. It was like, I kind of know how to work on these if they have a problem, but yeah, something happened when the bug got us, and then it was just like full steam ahead.
Yeah, that's awesome. So you opened Pinball League in 2017 in Richmond?
The collective opened in 2017. Yeah, May of 2017.
And was it as a nonprofit social club?
Correct. Yeah, that's the format we decided to go with. It just seemed to work well for everything that we wanted to do, and so far, so good.
Yeah. And in part of it being a social club, which totally makes sense now that you're talking to me about the community aspect and people just having fun together. I did see that there's a ladies' league. Can you tell me about the ladies' league? Because I feel like that is a rarity in gaming culture.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's really, I think I started that maybe a year after we opened. Bells and Chimes is what it's called. Bells, Belles, like bells, little pun there with the bells and chimes of a game. We started that, in like 2018, and I think maybe 6 people showed up.
Yeah.
Now we regularly have 20 to 25 women and gender minorities who come and want to play with us. So we do that every other Thursday. Everyone's welcome. It's free for first-time gals to come, and it's also sanctioned, just like the open competitive pinball is. So you will become a world-ranked women's pinball player for one night of playing.
That's so lovely to have like such a welcoming community like that for just women to play games. I love it.
It's great.
And one thing that also caught my eye was that there's all different kinds of machines. Like, as a kid, when I thought of pinball, I would just pull the lever and try my best. But it seems like there are a lot of different kinds of machines, or people have their favorites. What kind of machines do you see coming through the Pinball League?
We have lots. We try to keep our eras, we just try to represent all the different eras of pinball. So we've got really old electromechanical games, and
Sure, like 1970s era, the ones that we
Right.
have right now. Now, there's basically kind of not to cut you off, end in the late 70s before they went electronic. But yeah, everything before that is that style with the reels in the back and all that.
Yep, and all the way up till the newest game. So there are just so many different eras with, I don't want to get into all the nerdy details, but
Yeah.
you've got alphanumeric displays and the early solid state games and dot matrix displays, and you can kind of like look at the display and determine the era of a game. But we do have the newest Stern game, which just came out. Manufacturers still make pinball, believe it or not, and lots of it.
So do you swap out the machines, or how do people figure out what their favorites might be?
Well, I mean, that's what's nice about the club, is since we have all those different eras of games, you can poke around and see what, you kind of click with. And it's a mixed bag. And as far as like themes of the games and the art and the sounds, once we got into, the 80s into the 90s, you could do a lot more with the sound in the game. Just the hardware they had available to do that. And now any kind of full motion video, anything you could think of, you can put into that game and really kind of immerse people into that world of whatever it is.
Yeah, I know. I think that's a new concept that I'm getting, similar to like movies or TV shows or video games. you can kind of see what era something's from by the art and how it looks. But they also are very immersive with the sounds and stuff, which is something that I don't think people talk very much about. Because you're not creating a character and going into like play Mario or something. It's like a totally different wheelhouse that I think a lot of people in Richmond, if they haven't already, need to check out. So if someone really wants to play and check out the games like we're talking about, what is the best way for them to engage with Richmond Pinball Collective?
Well, they can check out our website, richmondpinballcollective.com. They can reach out to us directly. We're happy to give any insight about what it's like to come into the collective. A lot of people can be overwhelmed if they just walk in.
Yeah.
If someone wants to join the women's league, they can reach out to me personally. Otherwise just walk in, say you'd like a day pass, and our volunteers are awesome. They will walk you through anything you need to know to spend the day there.
Sweet. And last but not least, because I heard of a really fun sounding spooky women's league activity, are there any events or anything you'd like to chat about before?
Yes. So Halloween is my pride and joy tournament that I started several years ago. I do it every Halloween, and it's at the Richmond Pinball Collective. We are closed that day, so basically it's a women's takeover, and it's this coming Sunday, the 19th.
Okay.
Starts at noon. Anybody can show up if you want to come play in a women's tournament and don't mind being put into the women's ranking system. You are welcome to join us. We're a really inclusive, great group, and it's an all-day tournament. So you've got some die-hard competition there, as well as plenty of women who just come just to have fun.
Sweet. Awesome. Thank you so much for joining me.
Of course.
And you heard them. If you want to go check out Richmond Pinball Collective, go to their website, check them out on social media, and get involved. Thank you so much.
All right. Thanks, Hekla.
I'll see you guys in the next episode.
All right.